You are listening to the Knightline Sports Network, brought to you by Travis Dever and the Dever Team, 386-690-1636.
This is WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's news and talk.
Welcome to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Night Nation's only call-in show goes live now.
All right, hello Night Nation, hello Orlando. This is Andrew Phegley, and this is Knightline at Night. We're live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Bar Law, assisting injured veterans get the help they deserve. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036, or visit protectingvets.com. You can call Travis Dever for all your new Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. And if you need a new or used car, truck, or Jeep, you can call me, Andrew Phegley, at 386-736-3000, or come and see me at DeLand Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in DeLand, Florida. All right, we're taking your calls, 844-580-9326, 844-580-9326, or you can use the open mic feature in the WDBO app. Once again, I'm Andrew Phegley, AP_Knightline on Twitter. Got Big Ben Stout here with me at BigSocial32 on Twitter, and Roger Phipps at Night Bengal from the Santa Rosa Beach studios. And you can find all the rest of our content on NightlineSports.com. Ben and Roger, how are you guys doing?
Doing well. How's
Amazing.
it going?
All righty. Amazing. Okay, well, that's interesting.
I'm just glad I'm not in Orlando in 93-degree heat right now.
Okay.
That was a scorcher today.
Yeah, it was warm. It was definitely warm. So big stuff going on in UCF sports, getting ready for, well, since we're recording, actually. I probably shouldn't have put that phone number in the beginning, but whatever. I did it. So you can't call because it's recorded again. And we're getting ready to start the softball tournament, which is a regional is being played at UCF. Probably one of the biggest things to happen for quite some time, actually, for the softball team. That's huge to host a regional.
Yeah, absolutely right, Andrew. And we've got some good teams. We've got number 23 Michigan that'll be visiting Villanova and South Dakota State. First game will be South Dakota State versus Michigan. And then we will play shortly thereafter. The games actually got moved up. So that Michigan game will be at 11 a.m. tomorrow. And then that will be followed. Well, I can't say tomorrow because we're recording.
No, it's tomorrow.
It'll be at 11 a.m.
Yeah, it's tomorrow because we're recording. Yeah.
There you go. And we'll play Villanova at 1:30. It is a double elimination, which means that, the teams have to lose twice. So if UCF wins, they play the winner of Michigan and South Dakota State. If they win again, then they go straight into the final. A little bit of history for us, not just, this would be our first regional that we would actually win. We've made it to the final 5 times in the past, all at UF and FSU regionals. Unfortunately, lost to them in the final games. Looking for the ladies seem really excited, and I'm excited to see them host it. It's sold out already. There was $25 tickets. And there should be a good home crowd there to watch the home team.
All right, Ben, you got anything on this?
Yeah, I'm just excited for the softball team. Coach Bear's just done such a great job with that group. And Gianna Mancha and Jada Cody named to the all-region teams this past week, and certainly, well-deserved there. Just kind of from top to bottom, they just had a great season. And to be able to be the first team that hosts a regional is just a great accomplishment. But as Roger laid out the schedule there, now is time to make good on that hosting, right? We're not up there in Gainesville or over there in Tallahassee like they have been before and kind of having to climb that mountain. They're the host team. So now it's time to kind of do what we've been doing this season and show out and really play well. And going into that first game on Friday, which is supposed to start at 1:30. As Roger said, moved them up. I mean, we got to get some momentum, got to kind of jump on Villanova and really gain some momentum, kind of show out as being the host team, and then being on to a super regional would just be huge. But I don't want to look too far ahead. I have confidence in this team, and really excited to see what they put together this weekend.
Such a huge thing for UCF softball. They've tried for years to get in the position, and they've been in the position to host before and always got snubbed at doing that. So it's a huge thing for UCF softball to be able to host this thing, and it's, you know, there's revenue that goes along with hosting. There's exposure that goes along with hosting, you know, on a national stage, because believe it or not, there's people that watch the softball tournament, you know, pretty, you know, regularly. So this is a big thing for UCF softball. I'm surprised in a way that it took this long to get it going. I really thought the last couple of times that they were in the tournament where they were, you know, in the position to host, that maybe they would get it. But finally, I guess, you know, with the ranking that they had and everything, that you know, the softball gods finally, you know, chose them to be able to host.
Yeah, they definitely are. Go ahead, Roger.
You're right by using the word gods, because literally it's arbitrary as far as when you get into that position. It was us or Texas. Texas, if you watch the show where they were showing, you know, where they were going to be, once they knew Texas was not going to host, and UF had been announced to another regional, they knew that they were probably going to host. Now, the one thing I will say for this weekend is going to be tough is we have actually played Michigan before, and we played them in Clearwater in a tournament early on in the season, and Michigan did defeat us 0-6. However, this is at home. This is a different team from where we were early in the season versus where we are today. And if we win that first game against Nova, that means Michigan would have to beat us twice to win, and I don't think that's going to happen at home.
Yeah, I was just going to say that they you know, I think they just performed so well this season that they just kind of forced the hand of the selection committee, essentially, you know, which is kind of funny. We talk about that a lot in football, but certainly it's true in all other sports as well. And they, you know, their play on the field, they definitely earned it. And, you know, shout out to our athletic department and Terry Mahajer, you know, leading that, where, you know, we have to make bids on these regionals as well. And we have to we have to make certain investments and, you know, seating and kind of make sure certain things happen. And so, you know, Terry Mahajer was going to make sure that we were in our best, we've put our best foot forward on the field, and he was certainly going to make sure that we put our best foot forward as far as making that bid, and it was successful. And like I said, now we got to continue to prove ourselves and show out in the regional that we're hosting. I'm really excited for the ladies and what they're going to put together this weekend. One
of the things that I'm a little bit excited about with this is maybe some softball stadium upgrades in the future because of this. Maybe this will force them to, I mean, we have a nice little softball stadium, but it could be a lot better. And if you're in a position to host regional, you know, tournament play, I think that you would want to maybe put a little bit of money into that and upgrade. You guys have both been out there, and you know, it's a nice little stadium, but it needs to be, you know, a little bit better. We've done the baseball stadium a couple of years ago. They upgraded that quite a bit, put a video board out there, a new sound system, you know, new bleachers, all kinds of stuff out there. The softball stadium really hasn't been touched in a little while, and I would hope that this would maybe stoke the fire for that a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, just from a seating perspective, as Ben mentioned, there was bleachers seating that was brought in. It could definitely stand an expansion, but the scoreboard more than anything else. I mean, it was the old baseball scoreboard that they brought over, so it's a little bit bigger than what the original one was, but it's that traditional 90s old style scoreboard. So that needs an upgrade, and the seating needs an upgrade for sure. And, that particular stadium actually faces out into the sun. So during the day, the batters are all looking into the sun. It would be great if we could actually move that as well. But, at the end of the day, the tower could use an upgrade. The seating could use an upgrade. The seating that's there is actually pretty comfortable. It's got a lot of space in it for those folks, but I think it only seats like 900. So we definitely could expand it, especially as we're going into the Big 12 and we'll have a little bit more revenue to play with.
Yeah, Ben, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think that that's been mentioned in some interviews with Terry Mahajer, that he has talked to the softball staff, and some investments have been made, as Roger pointed out, but certainly some room to go there. And so, hopefully this national spotlight that we're in, and we talk about how special this team is, right? Like, who knows what could happen after we, as we move along in this tournament. Hopefully we do move along and go deep in this tournament, and that the more attention you get, the better, the more upgrades that can happen, because you can prove that you're worth it on a national stage.
Well, I would think that there is a home field advantage in a way, because they're very comfortable playing in their own stadium. I'm sure that helps the players, and we'll have their hometown fans there and all that stuff. So it's just good to be in a good position in this one, instead of being in a hostile environment. So I think they have a really good chance even with that. Just the comfort level that everybody has playing in their home stadium, whether it's football, whether it's basketball, whatever. I think that makes a big difference. It always made a big difference to me to play at home. Playing football, you just felt so much more comfortable, So I would assume that has something to do with it, and that is one of the reasons why, hosting something like this can be a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, not to look too far ahead, but if they are able to make it out of this regional and move on to the super regionals, they will go to the number 1 seed and defending national champion Oklahoma. So, getting out of this will be challenging in and of itself, and then the super regionals would be super challenging as well. But this is a team that's built to go deep in this tournament, so we'll see what happens.
Also, we've mentioned numerous times through there going to the Big 12. The Big 12 softball is no slouch by any means. So, as you mentioned, the number 1 team being Oklahoma is currently in the Big 12, will be probably the first year that we're there. Possibly. You never know how that's going to, play out completely. But, added revenue with that going into the Big 12, and then just everything being a little bit bigger, playing, established schools, Power 5 / I guess in softball they play those teams anyway most of the time, but it'll still be a step up in league for softball for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Coach Bear did put a big emphasis on having a tough and high RPI schedule. So they played a lot of really, really good teams this year to prepare them for the postseason. So hopefully that pays off in the long run, especially if they make it to a super regional.
Yeah. Well, I always say Power 5, but I guess that really matters in all the sports. Power 5, more people think of it as football, but when you're in one of those Power 5 conferences in any sport, the competition level goes up a little bit, I think. Even though the American has been great, and even though we do play a lot of those teams during the regular season, the league play, like I was talking about, I just think it's going to be tremendous having those teams on a regular basis visiting and playing away at their places as well. So
yeah, and whether I was just going to say whether you agree with the terminology or not for other sports outside of football or even football itself. I mean, it's the amount of revenue that those schools get from the football contracts, which trickles to all other sports. I mean, that's exactly what we're talking about here with softball, right? Like, that's where we're going to be able to make certain investments because we have the revenue coming in from the football side.
Absolutely. Roger, did you have something to say?
Yeah, there's definitely. Yeah, I was just going to say there's definitely an RPI bias as well. no matter what, based on the brands. It's just like basketball. If you look at Big 12 basketball, 6 or 7 teams make it, right? And the American, it's a 2-bid league, right? Despite the American being...
Got to take a break here. We'll be right back with more on Knightline at Night.
An auto accident can change your life forever. At Chad Barr Law, we are raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Hi, I'm Chad Barr, and I want you to know that our entire team is dedicated to providing you with the representation you deserve in your greatest time of need. If you or a loved one have been injured in an auto accident, call 407-599-9036 for a free consultation or visit chadbarlaw.com. At Chad Barr Law, our clients come to us in need and leave as family. Offices Altamont Springs.
Hey, this is Travis Dever, Kai's Real Estate, the Dever team, New Smyrna Beach. Your source for real estate and everything else, New Smyrna Beach. Proud sponsor of Knightline. Call me anytime at 386-690-1636. That's 386-690-1636. Let me show you my hometown, New Smyrna Beach, UCF's favorite beach. Go Knights and charge on.
Looking for more out of your Porsche? Look no further than Flat6Motorsports.com. They have the widest selection of aftermarket Porsche parts anywhere in the world. With over 85 product lines and in-depth expertise, Flat6Motorsports.com is your one-stop shop for any Porsche performance needs. Whether you're shopping for intakes, exhausts, suspension, or tuning, they have you covered. Flat6Motorsports.com is the premier Porsche aftermarket specialist. Check them out at Flat6Motorsports.com.
And now, back to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back on Knightline at Night with you, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barr Law. Andrew Phegley here with you. Got Big Ben Stout and Roger Phipps as well. This segment as well is brought to you by Manscaped. If you use the code GOKNIGHTS for the rest of the month at manscaped.com, you can get free shipping on all their wonderful stuff. We've talked quite a few times now about Manscaped stuff. We love their marketing department. We love their products that they have. And thank you to Manscaped for helping us out a little bit here. I love their normal, I guess, shampoo, their conditioners, their deodorants, their, body spray, all that stuff, along with all the other stuff. So I don't know, guys, if you want to say anything about that before we talk about something else, you're more than welcome to.
Well, I'll just mention, I didn't get to say it last week, but my new product that I tested last week was the nose hair trimmers. And yes, those are something that are, most people want to avoid that conversation. But as guys, we know we have nose hairs, and the way that that's built with the guard that's in place and everything else, it works really, really well. And you don't have to worry about, nicking yourself. So, they have really thought out all of their products and have tailored them to us and for what we need, although others can use them too. But I can tell you the nose hair trimmers definitely worked.
All righty, Ben, you got anything to add to that?
I'll just agree with you guys. I mean, as we said the last few weeks, Manscaped makes great products, everything from their trimmers to their deodorant and all the other products. They just make great products. So I'm certainly been satisfied with it, and I'll be a customer from this point on.
Absolutely. Thank you to Manscaped again for giving us all their products and letting us test them. And, manscaped.com, go Knights on there, free shipping for the rest of the month. Your balls will thank you. All right, that's their little slogan, so got to put that in there. In fact, that little trimmer, the nose hair trimmer you were talking about, is the now I can't.
Is it the lawnmower?
That's not the lawnmower. The other one is the lawnmower. It's the
weed whacker.
The weed whacker. They call it the weed whacker. Right. Yeah, that's awesome. So this is why I love the company, because I mean, their marketing team, everybody, it's a subject that people don't want to talk about, and we don't really want to talk about it on the radio on a sports show, but it's stuff sometimes that needs to be talked about. So they're, nice enough to give us their product, and I figured why not talk about it a little bit. But their marketing, it's hilarious. I mean, the stuff that they don't care. They're not worried about what people are going to think. They're funny, and they're real, so with their names, I love it. So we don't have very much time left in this segment, but I don't know what we want to talk about. We could talk very quickly. I think we got only like a couple minutes left here, maybe a minute or so. We could talk a little bit about. I want to save track and field. Is there a baseball update, real quick? Anybody?
Yeah, I mean they won at Houston. They won the series, lost the first one, won the last two, won at Bethune-Cookman after a rain delay. Won the first game at Cincinnati, had a doubleheader, and last time I saw they were unfortunately losing 10-5. But no matter what, we're in third place, and we're fighting for second right now.
Doubleheader today. They beat Cincinnati the first game, and now they're playing Cincinnati the second game. I think it's still going on.
Yeah, the bats were super hot the first game. They won 15-10. I mean, they and kind of the 10 that they gave up for Cincinnati were kind of garbage time, runs that they got across. So certainly the bats were hot today, and hopefully they, after what looks like maybe a loss in the second game of the doubleheader, they can bounce back and finish out with another conference series win tomorrow.
All right, time for another break. We'll be right back on Knightline at Night. If you haven't figured it out yet, I love Tijuana Flats. I would love them even if they weren't a partner with us on the Knightline Sports Network. They have all kinds of great Tex-Mex food, and it's fresh, by the way. Made to order burritos, tacos, enchiladas, chimichangas, quesadillas, bowls, nachos, and taco salads. And if you haven't tried the queso, you are completely missing out. It is the best queso that I've ever had in my life. Absolutely hands down. And the sauce bar that they have, everything from wild to mild in there. Absolutely awesome, awesome stuff. Not only do I love the food at Tijuana Flats, but I love the company, a UCF-born company. And they give back to the community with the Justin Queso Foundation. So head to your local Tijuana Flats. Tex-Mex for everyone. Hey Jeep Wrangler owners, have you ever sat in your office at work and watched the rain just pour into your Jeep because the weatherman said that there was a 0 chance of rain? Or you put your doors back on because there was a 100% chance and then not a drop of rain fell? Well, there's a company out there that can help take the worry away and give you the peace of mind to be without your doors. The company's called Life Without Doors. They make waterproof rain curtains and dash covers for Wranglers. Life Without Doors is there to help make the decision to leave the doors at home an easy one. Find out more at lifewithoutdoors.com.
Spice up your company with homemade marketing services from Tasty Gravy Creative. Tasty Gravy serves up a menu of budget-friendly marketing, graphic design, and public relations services customized to your specific goals. Co-owned by a UCF graduate, Tasty Gravy can help refresh your brand, strengthen your online presence, or reinforce your company's message. Contact Tasty Gravy for help with your website, social media, marketing, advertising materials, and more. Visit tastygravy.com.
And now, back to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back on Knightline at Night with you. I'm Andrew Phegley, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barr Law, assisting injured veterans get the help they deserve. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036, or visit protectingvets.com. You can also call Travis Dever for all your New Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. And if you need a new or used car, truck, or Jeep, you can call me, Andrew Phegley, 386-736-3000, 386-736-3000, or come and visit me at DeLand Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. And if you say Go Knights, charge on, I will give you a special discount. Got Big Ben Stout here with me and Roger Phipps. You can find all the rest of our content on nightlinesports.com. That was a mouthful. Yeah, so we're back talking UCF sports on WDBO. We're talking about, we talked about softball. We talked a little bit about baseball. We talked about Manscaped earlier in the show. Let's talk about track and field a little bit, because that's a big thing too. We won the American indoor and outdoor championships, I believe. I think I'm correct on that. I know the outdoor.
Season sweep.
Yeah, season sweep, indoor and outdoor. Awesome. And then going on to the NCAA track and field championships, I guess. I wouldn't call it a tournament, but definitely some action going on in there. Either one of you.
Yeah, they do. In track and field, they do like a regional rounds prior to qualifying for the larger events, larger event of the NCAA championship. So they call them the East. So the 2022 NCAA East Preliminary Track and Field Championship. So essentially, it's an early round. We had 14 members of the UCF track and field, and two relay teams make this NCAA East tournament or meet. And so obviously that's headlined by our, as we've talked about many times on this show, kind of the star of the show there on the track and field team, and Renaya Jones. She was able to grab more honors this week. She was her 100-meter hurdle performance in the American Outdoor Championship was named Most Outstanding Outdoor Track Performance of the Year for the American Conference, where she broke a record in that, and she was also named First Team All-American this week as well, or recently, I should say. And so she qualified for this meet, obviously, and along with 13 other members of the track and field team. So we have strong representation in the NCAA tournaments, and we're excited to see what these ladies can put together.
Yeah, the 2022 Division I NCAA Outdoor Track and Field East Preliminary Round is May 25th through the 28th in Bloomington, Indiana, at the campus of Indiana University. They're qualifying individuals and relays advance to the 2022 NCAA Division I Outdoor Track and Field Championships in Eugene, Oregon, which will be held June 8th through the 11th at Hayward Field on the campus of Oregon, University of Oregon, I think. Either that's Oregon or Oregon State. I don't know. I can't remember which one's where, but anyway, there's a live stream available for that, and results pages and all that stuff. I'm sure UCF will link to that stuff. Otherwise, I'm on the IndianaHoosiers.com, IUHoosiers.com, and you can find the live stream button there. So if you want to watch that stuff. Roger, anything else to add to this conversation?
No, Eugene, Oregon, though, is the home of the Oregon Ducks. So,
okay, I wasn't sure if it was Oregon State or I can't can't keep that stuff straight.
One of those Oregons.
Yeah, well, it's either Oregon or Oregon State. So
if it's Eugene, it's Oregon. I can say that much, but which is fitting since Nike originated out of Oregon. So, super excited for this team again. We got a new coach a couple of years ago, seems to be, bringing in some quality athletes, and they're they're doing really, really well. So to see 14 qualify is a huge deal. So that means it's not just, although Renaya is definitely the star of the show, she's not the only star. So excited to see what that team will do.
Well, it seems
the coach's name is Dana Boone. She's just done an excellent job, and certainly another rising star in our coaching staff in at UCF. So yeah, Dana Boone's been doing a great job. And one last thing I'll say about Renaya Jones, that she comes in ranked 4th in the nation in that event in the 100-meter hurdle. And then Selena Wright is also going to be in that 100-meter hurdle event, but her kind of specialty is the 400-meter hurdle. So there's another, she comes in ranked 13th in both of those events. So Selena Wright, you're right, is definitely another person to watch there.
I actually caught a little bit of the American track and field outdoor championships on ESPN, and obviously the biggest thing is that relay at the end, and man, our relay team just absolutely whooped. So
definitely, it's such an exciting event. That I love the relay events and any type of track and field.
Our relay was
fun to watch.
Super strong. Like there was no doubt in the end of that who was winning that thing. So that's awesome for them. I've always loved track and field. I did a little bit of it. It was a little bit hard to do, getting ready for football and all that. But I did do some of it in high school. More distance type thing for me. I was not fast as far as track speed fast, so it was more of a distance kind of thing for me. But it just seems like every week, especially in these spring sports, a lot of them, we've been talking about softball champions, track champions, I don't know what else champions. There's been more. I know in some of the fall sports there was champions. And winter sports. Volleyball, exactly. That was pretty much the one that I was talking about. Yeah, I mean, basketball, not so much this year, but interesting.
Well, women's basketball.
Yeah, women's basketball for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Not men's basketball.
All the women's sports have been doing really well.
We could throw some men's basketball in here, though, Ben. I believe that there was something you wanted me to remind you of to talk about. Do you remember what it was? Because I remember that you wanted me to remind you about something, but I don't remember what that actually was. So,
well, it was mainly that we. And I'm going to have to pull it up now that I wish. Thank you for reminding me, but I totally. So we did get another commitment this week for the 2022-23 season.
Young is who you wanted me to remind you.
Yeah, Jalen Young is going to come in from a JUCO in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So he's coming in. He's a guy that was kind of as a freshman there was able to kind of turn himself into a really good scorer and a huge contributor on that junior college team. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. And he seems to be he's a 6'2" guard. He's not super tall like some of the other guards that are coming in, like Brendan Wright and everything. But he seems like somebody who, has some ability. I've seen, obviously there's not many misses on highlight reels, but the highlight reels I've watched of him are pretty impressive. And so I'm hoping that he can come in and be a quality player for us, maybe surprise us a little bit. And as this team starts to fill out, the biggest hope, as we've discussed, is that they're players that are going to play really hard and kind of be self-starters and try to work into Dawkins' system in the right way, which we know starts with defense. So hopefully he can make an impact.
So we've talked about it the last couple of weeks. I mean, I was super worried when all these people started to transfer off the team. And I was like, at one point, I think I asked you on the show, I said, Ben, is there anybody left?
Yeah.
But since then, it seems like Johnny Dawkins has really been putting in some work and really, working that transfer portal and everything else and really bringing some guys in that, I'm gaining a little bit of confidence with some of this stuff.
Yeah, he has done well in nobody gives him credit for grabbing his own his own son from Michigan, but I mean, Aubrey Dawkins was a huge part of that NCAA tournament team, and so was Colin Smith, and Terrell Allen. I mean, 3 of the 5 starters on that conference tournament team, or excuse me, the NCAA tournament win team were Johnny Dawkins transfers that he brought in from other schools, and so he has proven himself to work the portal pretty well. Some of them have not worked out, and I'll certainly acknowledge that. But again, as I continue to say, this is something that we're just going to unfortunately have to get used to when it comes to being a college sports fan, especially a college basketball fan, because there's only 5 players that get on the court at any given time, and so a few transfers can make a big impact, and so hopefully some of the losses won't hurt us as much, but these additions will be the right players for this program.
All right, Roger, real quickly here, football. Is there any – I think that we got a fairly large transfer or commit last week maybe?
Yeah, Brandon Jennings, we had a linebacker, which we sorely needed, that transferred over. He'd actually been on 2 different football teams. He was with Terrence Lewis at Maryland, then moved to Kansas State, and did not play there. He was there for the spring and has now transferred to us. He was another 4-star commit, and he, was a highly sought after commit. A lot of people were after him and excited to get him on campus.
Yeah. Anything else from football? We're going to talk a lot about football in the coming weeks, obviously, especially
not
when
football. But
go ahead.
Since we're talking about recruiting, I mean, the women's team. We talked about the 4 that they added last week. This week they added a 2022 high school recruit, so they'll be able to play this season. 6'2" Brianna Hardy.
Talking about women's basketball, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So Brianna Hardy, a low post player who can shoot. So excited. We're finally starting to see that team come together as well after so many folks left with Coach Abe.
Yeah, and the staff coming together as well. I know that they announced some people in there. Any news or notes about any of the staff members that they announced this last week? Either one of you? I guess not.
Yes, we had 3 coaches that were hired. Greg Brown, who was actually a former coach here before under Joy. I can't remember her last name, Coach Joy. He was a former head coach at Lipscomb. So he's returning. Ashley Dobu, who is just getting started in coaching and was a player for this coach at Baylor. And then also, and I'm going to butcher this, I'm sorry, Tenival Adams. That one was hard, as an associate head coach. And she was also a former teammate of Coach Messer when she played. So those were the 3 that were added. Having a former head coach on your coaching staff is always a plus, especially someone who's familiar with UCF in the past. So excited for those folks.
Yeah. So
yeah, I was excited to hear about Adams, just mainly because some of the things in her bio, some of the things in her background. She seems to be a really good recruiter and somebody who played with and is very familiar with Coach Messer. I'm excited to hear that addition to the staff, and like you said, the other experience that we have added to it. Hopefully that'll continue to pay dividends. Yeah,
well, I mean, coming from a team, Coach Messer that came from Baylor at one point, being the champions a couple of years ago and stuff like that. She obviously has learned some things through all that, and I think that overall that was a good hire. We'll see how it turns out for her being a head coach, but I mean, real quick here, Ben, what do you think of that hire? I don't know if we ever really broke down that too much. Got like a minute left here.
I was encouraged. I mean, everybody, most of the time they win the press conference, and certainly Coach Messer did. I mean, she seems to be high energy and has great experience that you just mentioned, and so far has proven herself with the additions that we've had to the team that she is a good recruiter.
All right, going to take another little break here. We'll be right back on Knightline at Night.
I'm Jeff Allen. Join me each and every week on the Knightline Sports Network for the AAC Report. We bring you in-depth coverage of each school in football, basketball, baseball, softball, soccer, golf, tennis, and more, as well as bring you insider interviews and focus in on the biggest games and news of the week. That's all right here each week on the AAC Report, only on the Knightline Sports Network.
And now, back to Nightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back on Nightline at Night with you. I'm Andrew Phegley, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chadbar Law. That has come time for the Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week. Welcome to the Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week. Visit TijuanaFlats.com for takeout or delivery, or visit your local Tijuana Flats. Tex-Mex for everyone. All right, Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week. It is our hot take segment here. Obviously, you've heard me talk about how much I love Tijuana Flats. Have not made it there this week so far, but it's a little, there's still time to get to Tijuana Flats for this week for me. Go check it out. They always have something new and fresh on their menu. Roger, what is your Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week?
All right, so like their blazing hot sauce bar, my Tijuana Flats hot take of the week for this week is that the blazing speed of Renaya Jones will not only win at the upcoming tournament, but will also win in her category for 100-meter hurdles at the NCAA National Championships.
Oh, wow, okay. Ben, what do you got?
All right, so, I'm staying with track 2. Roger stole half of mine because he went first, but I'm gonna not only predict that Renaya Jones wins in this regional tournament upcoming, but I'm going to predict that UCF gets at least one more win out of someone else. If I had to bet, I would bet Latasha Smith in the 400-meter hurdles, but I'm also confident in our relay teams as well. So I'm going to predict an additional win to someone else on the track team in this regional, as well as at least 3 more podium finishes for the 14 that are coming.
All right. Well, that's going to be exciting. That track and field, regionals and track and field championship is always exciting stuff. I'm going to go with softball. You don't hear me do too many softball hot takes, but I think they are at least going to get through our little regional into a super regional. And I think do quite well after that as well. So I'm putting it all on our ladies out there. That is exciting softball that they play. I'm not a baseball fan, but I'm a little bit more of a softball fan. There's a lot going on out there in softball, I think. And you guys can attest to this. It gets a little rowdy at times, a little bit more than baseball, I think. Especially when the dugouts get chattering back and forth with each other, smaller field, a little bit, tighter space there. So you really get to kind of hear that more in softball than you do in baseball. And hopefully we'll get some run rule kind of things going on, and get some easy outs and everything in that tournament and get us there. Real quickly, anything else that you guys want to add? We got like a couple of minutes.
I was just going to quickly add to that. I mean, that's what I love about watching softball games is just the size of the field kind of really speeds up the game for me. It's just a faster game, more reactionary to watch than some baseball games. Certainly, it's been a joy to watch this team this season, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do. And just quickly, I mean, Jada Cody, breaking Stephanie Best's RBI record this year. She's got 69 and counting. That was one of the records that a lot of people thought was kind of unbreakable. Stephanie Best is a UCF Hall of Famer. So that's huge. A legend. Yeah, we've had her on our shows before. So yeah, so her breaking that record is certainly one that needs to be recognized, and she's a special player, and she's only a sophomore. Yeah, Ben, Roger, about 10 seconds here.
Okay, just going to add that Alex Freeland is back, which is great to see for baseball, and women's rowing finished second at the American Championship this week as well.
Awesome. Yeah, rowing has been a very strong sport at UCF as well. We fail to mention them. We need to a little bit more. I'll work on that. This has been Nightline at Night. Thank you guys very much for listening. Same time, same place next week. Go Knights.
Charge on.